We got a good question here from one of our friends. So Saeed, just out of curiosity, what do you imagine is true happiness and how would you feel if you had it right now? I really want to get your perspective on this. Okay, so simply put, the equation is very simple here. But first of all, hold on. Oh, there's my hand, there's my ass. All right, let's go pull something out of my ass. So here we go. This is what I pulled. This is the rabbit out of my ass, and that is, the equation is simple. Happiness equals contentment. Period. Happiness equals contentment. If you're content, you're happy. Contentment, true contentment. And what is a state of contentment? A state of contentment is a state that is absent of desire, absent of longing, a state of presence. I am here, I am content, I love my surroundings, I love my apartment, I love my community, I love the weather, I love, it's just a state of contentment. Contentment, just contentment. I'm happy here, in the here and the now. Whatever the here and the now is. It's actually ultimately a state that isn't dependent on its external environment. It isn't even I'm happy with my apartment, I'm happy with the weather, I'm happy with this, I'm happy with that. It's simply your presence. You're here. I'm happy, I'm content. That's really happiness. But don't be so misled. Because the one of the spiritual traps is, well, just sit down and just say thank you, and keep saying and keep practicing gratitude and you'll be okay. You'll come eventually to a state of gratitude and you won't even care if you're living in a slum or anywhere else because you're happy, you're content. Now that is a trap because that completely denies your humanity. It completely denies that you're a human being that is connected to her environment. You're part of your environment. You're part of everything. So yes, your contentment is still linked to the external environment, to your external surroundings. While the deepest contentment state is a state that is a purely internal state. However, it is highly linked in your human form to your external environment as well. For instance, it's much easier to be content when you're breathing in fresh oxygen because that oxygen is going inside your cells, it's cleaning it up, you're getting nutrients than to be somewhere polluted, breathing in that oxygen. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible to be in true state of contentment in that polluted environment, but I'm saying it's a lot more difficult. I'm saying there's got to be a lot more work to be done there. You're going to have to sit there and meditate and get inside yourself and really dig deep to find that state of contentment. This is an internal phenomena, internal state. However, you're sitting somewhere with the cleanest of airs. It may take you 2-3 minutes to breathe that air and be like, wow, I'm so content. And get high off the oxygen and just feel content. I'm happy. You're happy here. Oh, it's beautiful. Right? I'm saying that can be reached in a very disturbing environment, but I'm saying it's going to take a lot more work to do that because ultimately happiness equals contentment. And however you can get to the state of contentment, that equals happiness. So one of the spiritual traps is, well, you should be content anywhere. Doesn't matter because the home is the heart, right? Home is the heart. As long as your loving awareness, wherever you are, whether you're in a concentration camp or whether you're on top of a mountain, that if you are truly with the loving awareness, the true nature of self, then you're content with being with the awareness presence, then you are happy. True statement, but it's full of traps because if you're stuck in a concentration camp, good fucking luck accessing that loving awareness. Good fucking luck. Because you're a human being and you're part of your environment and you're a sponge and you're constantly soaking in vibrations, you're soaking in nutrients, you're soaking in toxins. You're constantly, so you eat something and it affects you in a certain way. So good fucking luck. Be in a loving content awareness, which is an internal state, internal phenomena. Has nothing to do with the external. The external, if you get in that state of contentment, certain environments make it much easier. It takes you into your inner state, your true, everlasting, eternal state of bliss, Satchit Ananda. But good fucking luck accessing that inner dimension when you're in the middle of a concentration camp. Good fucking luck, because you're a human being in this current human incarnation, having a human experience, and you're part of your environment. You're not in a vacuum. You're part of your environment. Thus, then, happiness. So then, how can I be in that state of contentment? All right, so there's basically two ways of being, really. There's being in harmony with the way, with the Tao, and living in this harmony with the way, with the Tao. Thus, your job becomes to get in that content state as often as you can by living a life that is in harmony with the way, that is in harmony with the Tao. Example. There are certain foods that are more harmonious with the Tao, the way of the human digestive system, the human biological machine. If you eat fruits for 6 months, and if you eat processed foods that do not belong in the human body for 6 months, which situation are you likely to be feeling content in 6 months later? Eating fruits only for 6 months or eating processed foods only for 6 months? There's your answer. You're living more harmoniously in one situation, and thus you're much more likely to reach a state of contentment, which is a state of happiness, state of Satchit Ananda, absolute existence, absolute knowledge, absolute bliss. The true nature of self is bliss. Okay? You're much more likely to do it by eating the foods that are harmonious with the human machine. You're much more likely to be content living somewhere with clean air, lots of trees, lots of birds, sunshine, rain, rivers and mountains, than you are living in the middle of a polluted, noisy city. I'm playing the probability game here, folks. There is a way, there's a certain harmony. Humans have lived in a nature environment, a raw, pure nature environment for the vast majority of their existence. So that's why we like the sounds of birds. You know, you can sleep when there's like crickets and like the night nature sounds. You know, when I was in Thailand, they were all around me. I was in a little hut with all the trees and the chick 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 and the crickets at night. Sleep best sleep, right? Then you try to sleep when it's like cars and noisy and you're in the middle of a city, right? And tit. Because there is a certain sounds are harmonious with the human biological machine. Certain sounds are not. They're disharmonious. Both are noises. It's just one you're gonna have much easier time sleeping to than the other. So then happiness equals contentment. And in order to be content, it's recommended, I'm recommending here, I'm just putting a recommendation that you live a life that is harmonious with the way of things, with nature as it is, whether it's the human way, the human Tao, or the nature Tao, because the way we live currently in cities is completely disharmonious with the way. It's completely disharmonious. That's why our world keeps getting itself into one big mess after another. It's disharmonious. So then there's another thing. What is your own specific unique way? Tao, harmony. If your way is to be a musician and you try to become an accountant, you're not gonna be content. Why? Because while you're trying to do your accountant thing, you're constantly having the desire to play music, to make music, create music. And that desire, contentment and desire are mutually exclusive. So, meaning, If you have desire, you're not content. If you're content, you don't have desire. Whereas if you're doing what your way is, your unique way, which is to be a musician and share, you don't have the desire to make music because you are making music, because you live for music. Instead of having that desire while you're studying for accounting and being an accountant, oh man, I want to make music. Oh, I just don't have enough time. See that desire? You can't be content. Whereas if you're doing what you're supposed to do, living in harmony with your own unique Tao, you don't have the desire to make music because you're making music, therefore you're content. You're not thinking, man, I should make music, you're making music. So the contentment's there, the desire is not there because the desire is being fulfilled, because that desire, you have the godly desires, the divine desires, because that's your thing. I have the desire to make these videos. I'm not sitting here thinking, oh man, if only I make YouTube videos. See, that would go against my contentment. Whereas if I'm just being what my Tao is, making YouTube videos, I don't have the desire to make videos. I make YouTube videos, thus I'm content because I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. The contentment's already there. So it's about aligning yourself to be living a life that is in harmony with the Tao, big the, and the smaller Tao, the Tao, that is all the Taos that go along with it. So your own personal unique Tao, whether it's to be a musician, to be an accountant, to be an artist. Somebody might be happy to be in a relationship because that's their Tao. Somebody might be happy to be completely alone for the rest of their life because that's their Tao. And if they try to get in a relationship, they're gonna keep thinking. They're no longer content. They're gonna be thinking, man, I want to be alone right now. Or what would it be like to live alone? Oh, I think I want to go back living alone, because the desire is there, because you're living against your harmony, against your Tao. And the same thing, if you're supposed to be in a relationship because that's your Tao, but you're alone, you're going to be constantly thinking, man, I want to have a partner. Oh, what would it be like? Oh, and then you're not content. Take away from the contentment. So then happiness equals contentment equals living in harmony with the Tao, with the way. The bee does bee shit. The bee goes on pollinating the plants, pollinating the flowers. The bee is content. The bee doesn't have to think. The bee is doing what it's supposed to do. If you do what you're supposed to do, then you're content, then you're happy. Because if you don't do what you're supposed to do, what your mission, what your dharma is, what the Hindus call dharma, that's your duty, what you're here to do, then constant thinking, I want to do this, I should be doing this, I want to make art, I want to make music, I want to make videos. Oh, maybe I'll do it next week. Oh, maybe I'll do it on the weekend. Right now I got too much work. I gotta catch up. But if you're doing what you're supposed to do, you have automatic contentment. No thinking, no desire, because you're already fulfilling what you're here to do. Because that desire, some of your desires are lower desires, but others are higher desires. Align yourself with your higher desires so you no longer have to think about them, because that's taken away from your contentment. Hopefully the rabbit that I just pulled out of my ass was useful to you. Thank you to the people who support on Patreon. Thank you to the people who support this channel on PayPal with the one-time donations and everything. I love you guys. I appreciate the continued support. It's been over a year now. I think I got a message from Patreon saying it's now past your 1 year anniversary. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate you all. If you'd like to support, become a Patreon member, a couple bucks a month, or just a one-time donation real quick. Down below in the description, the links are, and I will see you guys in the next video.